And we have returned to the Rainbow Six North American League Analyst Desk, Doa Jacob. Tommy here with you as always. Well, as always this week anyway. But we're about to go in to DarkZero versus XSET. It's going to be great. But before we start talking about that, we need an update on the standings. That's right, because I know it seems like we're looking at this a lot, but every result is so meaningful now that we're looking at who's got a chance to go to the major, who doesn't. And you can see with that last result, Astralis jumps up to third, and now Beast Coast with 1 point is still sitting in seventh, so not totally eliminated, just mostly eliminated. Astralis, though, still in it.
Yeah.
If you're at a point where you're only just above single-digit points at a margin that Beast Coast is through 8 play days, your possibility of qualifying is already exceedingly low at this point. Astralis, a nice bounce up, sure, but you're still, it's so back and forth. Still, even 8 play days in.
Let's take a look at probability here. Let's break this down to more minute detail.
So, with that previous result, all Oxygen needs is 1 point today. They don't even have to win. They just have to get to overtime. All they need is 6 rounds to confirm that they will be going. Funnily enough, remember back when TSM played Mirage in Stage 3 of last year and all we said is that they needed to get 6 rounds, that they didn't even have to win? They couldn't pull it off. So the pressure is now on Oxygen when they play later today to get that last point. Meanwhile, for Beast Coast, because of that result, approximately 0%. It's got to be like 0.00 something.
Yeah.
It genuinely needs a miracle now.
It is, yeah. 0.0001. That is
so you're
crazy.
saying there's a chance.
True, but there is not a chance anymore for XSET to qualify from this game. It's been removed from the field. They needed Astralis to do worse than 2 points. They didn't get it. Now they have to wait for this result and for Playday 9 in order to see if they go.
It's so interesting because it really is looking like, Oxygen, Astralis, Sonics, XSET. But that said, you look at DSM, you look at Parabellum, there's still chances out there. Even DarkZero, even the team we're about to see play against XSET, if they win in regulation, they have a 27% chance. I mean, that's higher than 1 in 4. That's pretty good. It's not terrible, but it's not great, but it's not awful. It's not 0.001% at least.
It's not, it's like you said, and then plus, imagine if they do win, and then TSM does win, and then they get placed higher than XSET, and then everything works out in favor. All balances restored to the world, like they said. TSM back in top 4.
You never know. Let's talk about that matchup. Let's talk about XSET versus DarkZero. Obviously, DarkZero, if they lose today, then they're out.
Yeah.
That's one thing we know for sure, is if DarkZero loses in regulation, they have no chance to get to the Berlin Major, which is shocking considering they won the last one. And XSET is the type of team that could put you away. Like, it's a scary match for DarkZero, no lie.
Yeah, I mean, their previous matchup, they did play them on Clubhouse last stage, and DZ lost to XSET 7-5, and it was a really attacker-sided match. If you guys remember that, the whole system was actually crazy.
Yeah.
And then also, it's actually a friendship rivalry battle. You got, DZ and Co. and, their teammates. You can see Kino on Twitter saying, "We're playing Troy Comedian today, not Canadian." So, yeah.
I love it. The thing is, too, is that both of these teams coming into this one off a loss as well. Oxygen taking out DarkZero in their last time out. And then yesterday, Astralis did beat XSET. 7-5, beat them in regulation even.
Yeah.
So both teams kind of looking to get back into the swing of things, too.
On Villa.
It's nice. Well, I mean, yeah, Villa, but we're not going to see that played here. I don't see a world in which DarkZero goes back to Villa. I don't think XSET tries out their luck, even though they had a pretty devastating loss on Villa themselves. So that won't be on the table as far as I'm concerned. It's also a very interesting matchup because on paper, I'd say on attack, it's not as though the stat is perfectly even, but it does still feel like they've got some struggles, whereas on the opposite side, XSET took the title of the #1 defensive team from DarkZero progressively as this stage has gone on. It used to be DZ 100%, and now the script is totally flipped.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about DarkZero a little bit more in detail here. Obviously, this is a team that people had high hopes coming into this major. Their start this stage was not good. Even some frustration expressed by Canadian on Twitter saying that the results were equal to the effort that was being put in at the time. So it seemed like maybe just some players, just weren't able to quite summon what they had in stage 1 in the maps here in stage 2. They're still in it, but it is a win or die situation for them.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to call a lot of these games must-wins for some teams. For XSET, the possibilities of qualification, even in a loss today, still exist. But for DarkZero, it's far more dire. Let's just envision a scenario where somehow we get a repeat of what happened when XSET beat them in stage 1, and it's a regulation loss. They're done.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Major champions could get knocked out of contention for Berlin today, which a lot of people are saying, let's say you win a major and then you don't make the next one, or you can't progress far at the next one. What does that say for you? It doesn't make the victory in Charlotte any more sour, but it does mean that you can't really find that same level of consistency, or trying to stay at the top in Rainbow Six looks like it's considerably harder than most people would have assumed. Finding a dynasty is not something that any team bar Penta G2 has ever been able to do, and it looks like DarkZero, if they lose this game, that chance for a dynasty suddenly, or just a run, a good streak, goes out the window, and they can't go back to land until stage 3 starts again.
Yeah, I mean, as we can see, like, I've been preaching that DZ brings back the whole counter-strat system, and I'm really hoping it for this game. I don't care what map they're on. I want to see the whole DZ Troy aspect of, all right, if they push here, we're in their face, or we're holding them here and we're pressuring here. And I think that's an aspect, as we got to see, that DZ brought to the field, especially when bringing on Troy and winning the Charlotte Major, and, you know, preaching that and practicing that. So hopefully they can pull out these last 2 games like they did stage 1. And we keep on saying it, but that's what happened when they played DZ, or when they played SSG on Villa, and they won and made it to the Charlotte Major and then won that.
I think it just goes to show how hard it is to stay on top in any esport, you know, and Rainbow Six obviously no exception, right? The game is going to change, and you add to that, other teams are improving, they're making roster changes, they're making strategic changes. It's really tough to stay on top, you know? And I mean, sometimes like when you're up there, right, it's hard to deduce what you need to do to stay there too. When you're on the bottom moving up, it's easier to identify things that you need to, you know, improve upon, right? But when you're on top and you're winning, it's a little bit trickier to figure that stuff out. So I think any team on top has that kind of extra burden laid upon them. So DarkZero, you know, just kind of one of those teams that was struggling with that a little bit stage 2, but you know, one last chance to turn it all around today.
Yeah, and something I want to touch up on, you brought the influence of G2. Like, we're in a generation where, or in a time of Siege where every new player is capable of playing at the top and or showing that aspect. And we're not in the EG G2 area anymore, where EG and G2 are always top 4 in their region, always making the majors. So it's actually nice to see, but also sad to see, because we do want to see a dynasty that we can always be like, oh, okay, they're going to be top 4. Let's get this.
This team will dominate.
Exactly. You can go,
So let's talk about XSET now. XSET has been exciting to watch all year long. Obviously, the full roster change after the organization was relegated at the end of 2021. They were unrelegated when we moved to 10 teams in the league. They got the new roster coming in. These guys have been on fire. Made it to the Charlotte Major, made it deep in the Charlotte Major, all the way to the playoffs. And here they are with another opportunity to go through. But like you mentioned earlier, Jacob, they can't do it today, even with a regulation win. So they're not quite out of the woods yet as far as punching that ticket to Berlin.
Yeah, it's very true. Like, I'd still say their fate is in their hands, though, which is nice. Their position at the leaderboards and the amount of points they've got with their round differential means that they don't have to concern themselves with the actions of lesser teams. It's more about how many other people can vault over them at the same time. If they were to get 6 points over these next couple of Playdays, then theoretically they should be fine. But even if they were to get that today, it's still only a 92% chance heading into Playday number 9. If they were to lose out, then they still have a better chance of qualifying than currently a TSM would. Like, if TSM didn't get any points and XSET didn't get any points, XSET's chances would still be higher. Same with Parabellum, same with DarkZero, same with SSG. So when it comes to clearing the field, they've already done most of the groundwork, but it's about a strong finish, which they did very well through their last 2 games of last stage, because they got the 2 points to get them over the hurdle, but they also lost both of those games. So there is a bit of a weird paradox happening with this team.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I did not mention it yesterday, but I got to mention it today. And a star player we need to look at on XSET, he's been continually fragging out during this whole stage, is Yaga. And I mean, let's just be honest. He's plus 21, he's plus 3 on entry, and he doesn't play the Finka, doesn't play the Jaeger, doesn't play the Alibi, he plays the Sledge Valk. He's an opener. He is the find and opener player. He's not on the first entry. He is, hey, all right, we need to win this round. I'm going here. Let's do this.
Here's a big reason for why those early games for XSET work in the first place. If they have early map control, or if they've got an early lead, sometimes it's off of the impact he creates, even if he's not the one lighting up the scoreboard to find the first frag. It is kind of that first in mentality, I think, for Yaga.
it's like situational, but I think of Yaga like a mini vertical.
That's high praise,
vertical.
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
They're on the same team.
Yeah, I can see
he learned from one of the best, like finding opening players in the right time at the wrong places for the other team.
I do see it, no, because there was a time back when Yaga and Vert, sometimes we were like, who's meant to be playing where on this
Exactly.
team? Like last year, I do absolutely see the point, and like to his credit, he's also taking over Vertical's old Stage 1
Exactly.
MVP stack because he's like number 2 or number 3 in the league still right now.
Yeah.
He's doing great.
Definitely coming into his own this year for sure. Guess what? It's time to find out what map we're going to. The bans are in.
Okay.
DarkZero, XSET banning back and forth to find out where we will travel to. No theme park, no skyscraper to start things off.
Yep, DarkZero, no sky, makes perfect sense. XSET, no theme, so nothing here is any different. Those are the only 2 maps that either team have a 100% ban rate on those, so everything from here can get a little bit more convoluted. I'd say
You don't want to take DZ to Cafe.
no,
that's
you
for
never
sure.
want to take DZ to Cafe. I'd say XSET would love to try to push this maybe towards an Oregon, and I think DarkZero might meet them halfway on that marker just because of like their
Border.
respective strengths and weaknesses here. No border I thought would have been interesting because I don't know, DZ on border. Just,
DZ on border, XS kind of, always all over the place.
right, I mean, and DarkZero have played that twice so far this stage and haven't won it. So it looks Oregon. Ooh, a little bit of a change up.
Rematch.
We were trending towards that. I thought we would hit it, but instead it's Club. Remember the last time these 2 teams played, Tommy?
I remember.
What was the score? What was the map?
5-7, DZ lost to XSET
On Clubhouse.
on Clubhouse.
We're seeing a deja vu moment. There's a reason we're repeating this. There's a reason why DarkZero had the option of Oregon, go to Club instead. It's a slight curveball, but I don't know, dude.
Hold on.
What are the odds we see a repeat of Stage 1?
There's a huge repeat. I said it yesterday. Yaga, XSET, all of them. Let's just be honest, they're like a mini Brazilian team on NA.
Sure, yeah.
And that is a good Clubhouse team or Clubhouse map for that type of region and playstyle. I think XSET might go through with it. I don't know.
You said you wanted to see more of the DarkZero counter-stratting style.
Yeah, I
though.
wanna
So
see
do they have
more-
the counter-strat? That's the question.
For the playstyle, I don't know.
On Club, you better, dude.
We'll find out. Time to make some predictions, though, and it might be a little bit of a tough one. I think a lot of us leaning towards XSET, but let's find out first what our casters have to say. Jesse and Intero over there waiting to let us know. Jesse, are you going to pick for Intero again? It didn't.
Nope.
It almost worked out.
Yes,
It almost worked out for
I am.
Northwood last time. Yeah,
I'll dump an entire bottle of water all over you.
That's so rude.
I believe him too.
That's
I'd
so
be careful.
rude. Why
He's
is
got it
it
right there.
done?
Don't make me.
But isn't this the color coordination thing? Doesn't Jesse pick XSET
Good
and
point,
This was
Jacob.
not planned.
That's a good point. That's why I'm going with XSET and Parker's going.
Nope. I'm not going with DarkZero. Look, we didn't even try to color coordinate. We didn't talk about what we were going to wear at all. Jesse, when he's done casting, is immediately going to his bowling league. So he's
Who
prepared.
told you
and ready.
vertical
Doesn't even
stripes
need
was
to
a good
change of
idea?
Clothing. Honestly, I want to go with DarkZero because I think they're going to bounce back. But with how much is on the line and the fact that they can effectively clinch their spot to Berlin, I honestly think XSET is going to win.
All right, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think 2 picks for XSET from our casters. We'll check back in with the 2 of you in just a moment. There you go. Rep the set right now. You did yesterday, Tommy. You picked XSET yesterday, I believe.
Oh yeah, I did. And I also picked DZ, but something was just coming down. Oh, there it is. Once again.
Not again.
Oh, rep the set. We're going with XSET. They will be
All
the
right.
ones winning the smash.
You came from the roof. The set came from the roof. I'm noticing it. Marco, do you live in our rafters?
You have to, what? What's up, Marco? How's it going?
What the hell is going on?
It's kind of warm up there. I wouldn't want to be up there. Jacob, what do you think?
I mean, oh, wait a second. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Wait, he does live up there. The XSET gods do exist. And yeah, they're going to win this match.
Can he influence the coin flip, though? That's the question. Another one for XSET. We'll see what the coin has to say. DarkZero will be heads. XSET will be tails. That was a meaty
that was a
meaty slap,
that
yeah.
worked. All right.
Meaty hook.
Oh, it's tails. The coin says XSET. All right.
Uh-oh.
Now
That
since
means-
Uh-oh.
now since
vote.
Jesse's going to his bowling, place after, is this going to be a strike with all of them on XSET?
Who knows? Or will it be what's the opposite? of a strike? A gutter
a
ball.
double,
There we
a
go.
turkey.
I haven't bowled for a while. XSET for the fans as well. Everybody's saying XSET. Now, there was a curse that existed where when everyone, including the fans on the coin, picked a team, they would be doomed to lose.
It might even be specific to XSET because last time this happened, Astralis won. Remember that?
Maybe. I feel like to a certain extent that curse has been broken, though. We've had instances where that has not been proven true. So XSET fans do not despair quite yet. You know, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, community poll. What's the question? What were we talking about? Canadians UMP or Kino's Pump Shotty?
Ooh, yeah. Well, which one do you have more faith in? Ooh.
Good question.
The UMP or the Mossberg?
Okay, hold up. Troy, UMP EG skin. Use it. Bring back the old Troy.
I don't think he can hear you right now. I think he's prepping for the game.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
I don't think he's listening.
Troy, you listening?
Bust out the EG drip.
Yep.
Isn't that what he was using when he killed Geo in that one?
No, drip is not on EG. Drip is on Beast Coast.
Sorry, I'm going this way.
We're done for the moment. We're only taking a break. The desk is done for the moment. We're taking a break. When we come back, our casters will bring us the action between these two teams. DarkZero versus XSET. DarkZero, can they survive? Can they give themselves a shot to get to Berlin, or will XSET close out their hopes? We'll find out right after this.
I like my coffee black, wife too. Don't turn this into no controversy. It's my boo. I can make $250,000 off a haiku, and I can make another quarter off it ×2. If it's money on the table, I'll be on it like Bobby or Epic. You peep the aesthetic, it's hard to forget it. I hear you talking, but you're hardly right. I'm the voice of your prototype. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? It's too cool. Get the dry tops out. Summertime and then why? It fits right. Bottles over here. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? I'm talking 6 a.m. tea times. 18 with the mayor talking land banks. I waited for it, gotta get mine. Snag a seat up at the table if my man can't. Head into a meeting, we're familiar with no briefcase. Just my mind in a free state. I got a plan through a vision, but it takes time. I'ma make mine. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? You know the drill by now. Summertime and then why? Get everything together, get the squad together, get the gang together. Summertime and then why? Summertime and then why? Started in the back office, now I run the front. Call the shots, make the deals, know the deal, know what's up. Too much for the books, then I put it in a tuck. Too much for the tuck, then I give it to my love. Once I make $1 million, man, $1 million won't be enough.
I'm NJR, and this is the NAL.
It's time for matchup number 2. We're going to rep the set against Going Dark, if you just want to go by their hashtags. XSET versus DarkZero. XSET's in prime position to make it to the major. That's what's on the line for all these matches today. Yes, obviously you want to do well in the NAL. You want to do well for SI points, but immediately there is the Berlin Major.
Yes.
And XSET are in position to go. The defending major champs, we'll say it every single time until there's another major. DarkZero are not currently in a position to go. They're fighting for their lives.
DarkZero in a very similar position to Beast Coast last game, something we all expected to say at the start of this stage.
Nobody expected to say that.
DarkZero, basically, if they win in regulation, about 25% chance of getting to the major. If they don't win in regulation, basically they're out. They gotta go home. No shot for them anymore.
That is correct.
It is also our final cast together.
Thank God.
It's been so fun. I've enjoyed my time here. It's been a good time. There are some words of encouragement from I don't know if you know this Twitter user, @InteroMom. She says, "You guys are doing great. Tell Parker I said to be nice." So I think you should listen to @InteroMom and please be nice.
Production agrees.
You have to be nice this cast because your mom said so.
It's like the ultimate trump card.
Yep.
Like a good son, you gotta listen to your mom.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it a lot. She's been a fan. She's a fan of yours. She's been a fan of yours since the beginning. I feel like that's just her
thanks.
country bias. She likes every Canadian caster except for Flynn. She didn't like him, which
That's
is
true.
great. Shows
Nobody
that
did.
Shows that she's a woman of character and good taste. I like how he's catching strays, even though like not only is he not a caster anymore, but he's not even like in the scene. He like left.
Flynn, dude, I caught strays from Flynn. He hit me with the breakfast wrap tweet.
Well, that's because you.
A couple of days ago.
For people who don't know, before we get into this match, by the way, so we cut to a shot of the teams in Vegas. Jesse doesn't understand what the word sans means, which means no in French. Without.
I can't speak French.
No. So he wanted to order a breakfast wrap from a certain fast food restaurant and saw sans and thought that it meant extra. So he thought he was getting extra eggs, extra tomatoes, and instead what he got was actually none of that. He got literally a blank burrito wrap. That was it. It was a pita and nothing else.
You know what's worse? I didn't think it meant extra. I just thought it meant add. I, for some reason, thought that you just had to pick what you wanted in the wrap. I thought it was like Subway style, you know, where you get to pick what's in the thing.
He spent a small fortune to have delivered to him
It's like $20.
a pita, and nothing was in it.
It's just a little tortilla. And I was so hungry.
Enjoy your carbs.
Starving.
I just find that, like, what do you, like, there's fonts that use, like, sans, like Comic Sans, the greatest font of all time.
I don't know what Comic Sans, I don't know what the sans and Comic Sans mean. What's a
Sans serif, no serif.
What is a serif? I'm a math major, Parker. I don't need to know these things. All I need to know is that DarkZero banned out the Thatcher, which is their most commonly banned attacking operator in 3 of the 7 games they've played so far. XSET's most common attacking operator ban is a tie between Thatcher and Ying.
I wonder if they're going to ban Thatcher too.
Probably not, and I also don't think they'll ban the Ying. Steezy don't play it a ton, and it's not huge on Clubhouse. I mean, maybe. Nah, Habana makes a lot more sense.
It's going to be a heart breacher.
Yeah, that makes, that's a better Clubhouse.
There's probably going to be a Kaid ban from DarkZero, so what do you think from XSET here?
Wamai.
Probably Wamai?
They've banned Wamai in 6 of the 7 games so far. I think Wamai ban on Club is pretty solid. And DZ loves to ban a Zombie, so it's not like XSET needs to ban that. We've talked about how good a Zombie is on Clubhouse. We had a game yesterday where a Zombie had a lot of impact. Won't be Wamai, it'll be Kaid.
So I thought DZ was going to ban out Kaid. So now they can target ban one of the operators. Could they potentially get rid of a smoke against Kino? That would be fascinating.
Yep, that's exactly what they
I
did.
am the smartest man alive.
That's what you say, that's for sure. I believe another team, I gotta check this, so you're gonna have to give me a sec, but I believe another team counterbanned Smoke against Kino as well.
Wasn't it yesterday?
I think it was. I'm double checking, but XSET yesterday banned Smoke against Kino. So yes, yesterday we had a counterban against
XSET
Kino as
banned
well.
Smoke against Kino.
So my point doesn't matter. Moving into round number 1, I was incorrect on that one. Wait, hold up. No, Astralis banned Smoke. Liquipedia's wrong. Okay, CGG backs me up. Astralis banned Smoke against XSET, which is what Kino is at. Liquipedia.
I'm sorry.
Somebody can fix
People
that.
who edit Liquipedia do so without any pay and out of the goodness of their hearts. And you are besmirching the good name of our Liquipedia editor.
There's a good chance the person that edited that was Super Bunny, the guy that does like all.
I was going to say, they're both, you were literally praising our two stats people for the major chances, and they are both Liquipedia
Parker,
contributors.
I keep it real, okay? They get praised when they give us good stats. They get flamed when they give us wrong stats.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed. We're going down to the basement for the first time. For the first round here, DarkZero choosing to go down. They played this bomb site 7 times at the Major through, I believe, 3 different plays. They won it 4 of those 7 times, positive win rates. And Clubhouse as a whole, DarkZero played and won 3 times at the Major. They were undefeated here, so it's going to be a tall task for XSET to upset them.
Well, you upset them. You know, Liquipedia is the best thing ever. Anyone in the world can write anything they want about any subject, so you know you're getting the best possible information.
Well, they have to write it on Esports, but otherwise,
What's the difference between Liquipedia and Wikipedia?
Yes.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what charm Hyper is running.
I didn't catch it. Sorry. It's not the Intero.
Sorry. No, that's old news. New news? New news, by the way. The Super Charm. Anyway.
It's been a big power up for a lot of players in the league.
Has it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's been a big power up for Super's bank account as well. He gets money for every person who buys one.
Does he really? Wow.
Yeah, I keep missing out on what this is. I'm always fascinated by the drip that teams decide to use. And of course, the player cams are very much concealing that charm. First kill goes to NJR. Kino down for the count. He won't have to tussle with that smoke ban until he moves to defense. In the meantime, Kino playing one of the Heart Breachers. Voted by you on the Rainbow Six game account as the single best Heart Breacher, Ace, which by the way is incorrect. I'm sorry if you voted in this favor, but if you think that Ace is the single best Heart Breacher and is a must pick all the time, then I have some beachfront property in Iowa to sell you. Either way. The Ace is down for the count. Panbazoo on a zombie, unbanned, flourishing right now. As NJR baits in spirits, they were trying to take out Panba, but the party comes from none other than NJR. DZ still holding on the main floor of this basement defense.
NJR, they call him N Junior where I'm from. He's been fantastic on the roam. He's gotten the first 2 kills, and a lot of it comes out of zombie. Great zombie play coming in from Panbazoo, NJ's partner on the roam. NJ eventually does get traded out. Yaga cleans that up, but still, it's a great advantage to start things out with for DarkZero. That's going to put them up in a 2-man, now a 1-man advantage. And again, with this time starting to tick down, we still got the stock hatch closed. We've still got the stock hatch open. We've still got the moto hatch closed and the kitchen hatch closed, so there's not a lot of angles for XSET. They've got to come in through blue. That's where 3 of their players are located, and they've only got 3 alive. So this is an entirely blue push going on right now.
Yaga, whose name affectionately is the Yog Dog, is the first point of the spear down below. Realizes that over by dummies doesn't have any much of a contest and can keep walking up. Canadians Nitrocell takes him out in the last one left. Diaz there to walk on in. It's Gomez now in a 1v4, and he's done and dusted. Hyper, who spent most of the round playing upstairs before heading back to the main floor, makes his reemergence to the bomb site and gets the kill. DarkZero on Clubhouse take round number 1.
Yeah, so man disadvantage push is already bad when it's a one-dimensional, low-time man disadvantage push. It's never going to really favor you. XSET had a really tough hand going into that execute, of course. A lot of that coming from the roam. It took them a long time to take control of that top floor, and it took them 2 bodies. Typically, when you're roam clearing, you want to get some kind of advantage, right? You want to either get a man advantage or you want to clear things out really, really quickly. XSET did neither of those things, so very difficult to make that push work. They couldn't do it. Unfortunately, if they had some more times, I'm sure they would have worked through some other angles, but that wasn't the situation they were in. So, rough first round. They can chalk it up to just not being able to roam clear against NJR and Pamba. They can go again when they come back to this bomb site, most likely in round number 4. For now, though, we go to CCTV and Cash, and this is one that DarkZero, through their 3 games at the Major, played twice and were undefeated through those 2 rounds. Small sample size, but still a good showing from DarkZero.
You love small sample sizes.
I like small sample sizes when it's specific. I don't like broad small sample size stats, but this is a DarkZero specific stat, so I think it's fine.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying. I'm glad that we have that on the record now for everybody here.
Yeah, I told you that multiple times yesterday, but it's okay. I know listening's hard.
Yeah, just don't listen.
Didn't you have to be nice? Didn't your mom say that you had to be nice today?
Yeah, me not listening to you doesn't mean that I'm being mean to you.
I would consider that rude.
I would argue that not listening to you is actually much nicer because it gives me fewer things to then roast you and critique you on.
All right, well, Taro Mom, let us know what you think on Twitter about that statement.
I don't care.
That's definitely rude.
We'll talk about the stats as they continue to roll forward. A regulation victory for XSET gives them a 95% chance of making it to the Berlin Major. The only team today who can outright clinch on their own is OXG. They'll be playing in the next matchup, actually, against Space Station, whose chances of going to the Major suffered a very crucial blow yesterday, and really poor timing for the fans of SSG. As for DarkZero, they've still got an outside shot, but they're honestly not that much higher than what Beast Coast would have been at had DZ or Beast Coast won in regulation. Moot point as Beast Coast lost. So DZ have a really tall task ahead of them. 1 minute off the clock. Upstairs CCTV defense.
Bandit being brought out here. The Maverick's going to mean that's not super impactful. The batteries on the platform wall, I don't even know if there any were there, but if they are, they're deleted. Pamba deleting Spirits as well. A nice little headshot taking him down on the roam. Playing Thorn down around the lounge area, helping out Hyper, who's trying to play Garage. This has been a great little combo for DarkZero. In the past, Kino almost punishes it, but escaping with his life is Pambazoo. He's a little lucky there.
Saw a little bit of Thorn earlier on Villa in our first matchup, and Thorn's pick rate has actually been creeping up a little bit on some of these defenses. The Razor Blooms that are brought from the Irish defender allow you to use them for information more than for damage, and you can also use them for displacement too. If somebody hops in a window and suddenly you hear the Razor Bloom start to go off, well, you're going to have to scurry away, just as Pambazoo did with the nade, but not successful. Diaz XSET's very first kill sets up with a final minute here in round number 2 with both teams sitting at 4 players apiece.
From downtown, Diaz Lucas. They've still got to work Hyper out of Rafters, and this is no easy task, especially as they're using up most of their frag grenades. Only one left on Diaz, and he's dead from Hyper, so it's no longer going to be an impactful kill. Hyper all alone in this top area of Rafters opens up one of his own zombie barriers. They do kill him, though, so it's going to be so hard for DarkZero to hold on to the site.
It's Gomez to take care of him. And look at this, Canadian. He doesn't miss that shot. He's missed a couple in his career, but that's all right. Down goes Yaga. XSET with 2. DZ with 2. 30 seconds to go. Rafters no longer in control of DZ, so instead you'll have to coalesce around the bomb site. XSET march on in, and they'll find that it's vacant. There's nobody around. So Kino grabs the diffuser, drops it. Gomez will watch over top. A vault in, and Gomez just cannot connect, and he lets NJR run right over Kino. He gets flattened. Could there be more for the Bandit? No, Canadians there for the added benefit, and DZ play that so well.
Yeah, Gomez just has to have better coverage there. Of course, it was a good plant spot, I thought, from Kino, getting in deep inside of CCTV. They could have just tried to plant like right in the default spot behind the server rack, but they knew that the Orcs was down below. That could have caused a big problem. Canadian was actually sprinting all the way up the main stairs, so he wasn't going to do anything from beneath there, but they recognized that was a realistic threat, so they tried to push deep. They were looking for the kill onto the Bandit. They were looking for NJR so that they could make it a 2v1, because again, they knew Canadian was not going to be on site for a long time. They didn't find him. They said, all right, screw it, we're just going to go for the plants. And then, yeah, that coverage from Gomez just not quite there that round. So that's 2 in a row that XSET are going to lose here. Kind of tough for them. They entered this week as the second most likely team to go to the Charlotte Major. They had over 75% chance. They lost yesterday. If they have another regulation loss today, those odds are going to be looking very, very bad from 0 to 0 for XSET if this goes poorly.
Well, good start now for DarkZero through these 2 rounds. A scamper on over. Just a little scoot across the top floor of the map. Just a zip, zap, zoodle, whatever you want to call it. They'll go over to gym and bedroom. The gym component, often referred to as weight room, if you hear us call that. That's why it's over there. We were hoping for a bar stage defense on the Clubhouse match that you and I casted yesterday, and by Jove,
for it.
I was hoping for it, and I don't care what you want. And I was very excited, and we got it. And then we got a clutch as well. Don't know if it'll be brought out, but a team that likes to go to different bomb sites is DarkZero, so they could just pull it out of their back pocket and decide that that's the place to go. Either way, I don't know if Panbed's controller disconnected or not. Just sitting waiting. Oh, I want to see what the charm is.
You'll get there one day. DarkZero actually don't have very good win rate on Gym Bedroom from the Major. 1 win in 3 plays. So actually I wouldn't mind them if they did go down to the main floor there, just because this hasn't been their best bomb site. They'll try it now though, and perhaps they'll find success. The Azami being the big difference. We didn't have that back at the Major. Now of course they do, and NJR. We talked about how important this Azami has been on Gym Bedroom. Really does allow for some cool cache extensions with allowing you to retreat and cover your spaces. However, this is going to be a jacuzzi side execute and a basement clear as Gomez finds Hyper for the first frag, taking down Hyper on the roam. This Nook has been so impactful. It's one of the highest win rate operators in the game right now.
There's a good post on the Rainbow Six Pro League subreddit about why Nook has seen such a high pick rate. And it's basically that in a meta right now, with attacker repick being as strong as it is, you can essentially tailor your whole setup, and that leaves you that flex pick to go however you want. And of course, an operator that works against the intel that the defenders bring, Nook can very easily fly in, get a kill, fly out. And that's exactly, you see a lot of teams using it. It's not like a concerted entry. It's get a pick and go away. Gomez showing exactly how that works. And that leaves DarkZero in a bit of a hole. It's also the first time that XSET gets first blood. DZ answers back. It takes quite a while, so no trade. The advantage that was born from XSET's kill is now gone, and that's Kino to die first for their team yet again. This is not a good spot for Kino to be in on attack. They'll need more from the rest of his team.
Down and below, an easy little pickup from NJR, who dropped down the hatch and found 1 kill, but the trade easy from Gomez coming out of the kitchen area, taking him down with a nice little headshot. Second for him on the round, makes it a 3v3 with 45 seconds to go. All DZ players inside the site. 1 jacuzzi, 1 main stairs, 1 elsewhere.
There goes a nade that'll do some damage to DZ, the Eclipse in particular. Gomez at the top of the stairs. He's got 1 player not too far off, but Canadians inside a weight room. He can just play and, quite literally, wait. Different spelling. Completely different meaning, but still, the pun is there. Nade for Diaz, but the moment that it gets pulled out, there's an audio cue that Eclipse can play off of, and a jump out from Canadian. Silences Yaga. DZ 3-0 to start off Clubhouse.
Nice way to play that that 3v3. I also like just how they were able to move man advantage back in their favor. You saw that DarkZero weren't afraid to get aggressive and go for swings. The first time that they equalized the man count was a nice little swing onto the Jacuzzi breach, and then NJR in the 4v4 dropping down, saw an opportunity, took it. Unfortunately didn't know where Gomez was, but still it was a nice little play to keep those the man count equal or keep it in DarkZero's favor. Once they got to that 3v3, again, the angles were a little bit better from DarkZero. XSET were kind of funneled around that that gym area where they were trying to come in from Jacuzzi. They had one player up above trying to play the windows, and then everybody else tried to walk in through gym and kind of had to funnel. So really nicely done from DarkZero to play that one, trading off of each other. We talked about the Nook that round. I'll give you the full stat. The highest win rate operator who has played more than 10 rounds.
Wow. Wow.
So very good. Lost that round, though, so maybe that stat's outdated after that.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Just like the stat yesterday when we did predictions and I was able to catch up to you, and then, of course, you sabotaged me in the very first game.
Almost didn't work out for me, though.
I know. I was very close. And then I started to root for Beast Coast, which is something I don't usually do. I don't usually root for a team in the middle of a match, but I started to shift my allegiance from neutrality towards Beast Coast solely to rub it in your face that you threw me under that proverbial bus. Either way, we're both united that XSET's going to win this. Not looking so good for them right now. Full site rotation for DZ as they're successful on their 3 defenses, starting on Church, then going up to CCTV Cache, rotating over to Gym and Bedroom. Now back to the first bomb site where it all began. Only difference is that XSET just used their timeout. Their lineup doesn't look that odd. As I say that, an operator who used to be so deep in the meta that you'd see her every single game. Not the case anymore. Ash getting picked by Gomez at the last second to complement the rest of their roster.
Curious why, perhaps, I don't know why I pick an Ash over the over
Claymores
the
too.
Here. Yeah, Claymores are pretty big. I mean, they don't have Claymores otherwise, and they do already have 6 flashes, so perhaps just feeling that is the better way for Ash to go right now. Fair enough. I mean, it's a good gun. If Gomez is more comfortable on it, I'm not going to question him. He's currently 3-3 right now, so he can play what he wants. He's top frag and XSET. Already, we've got the platform wall being opened up. It's Church setup, but there is a Valkyrie, and I think Hyper's looking to get a little aggressive. Pambazoo's up here as well. Those are typically the 2 most banned defending operators, Zombie and Valkyrie, but both left up, both being utilized by DarkZero as they roam this top floor around CCTV Cache.
Oh, early pick by XSET. They get another first blood. Yaga punishing Hyper. His roam will not be that successful. Hyper was first to die for DarkZero on the previous round. He was spotted out down in the basement by Gomez. Another from DZ will add to the pile of bodies. Pambazoo is no more. We're only a minute in, and DZ have fed 2 kills to XSET already.
Needlessly aggressive. Both of those swings, I mean, Hyper, especially the first one, out in the middle of CCTV, gets caught from the window from behind them. Unfortunate. And then I get that Pambazoo wants to trade. I get that he's trying to do something unexpected to catch them off guard. Doesn't work for him. Canadian as well. As we get more and more desperate in this round for DarkZero, these kind of like wild plays get less and less poor.
What is happening?
When you're in man disadvantage, you've got to go for like crazy stuff to try to like catch your opponents off guard, but XSET have been ready for it 4 times, not 5, and that's the fuse kit. So wait a minute, this is clutchable.
I would argue that they were very ready for it, but it was just that Eclipse won what was a sloppy gunfight. Doesn't win the second, and that's it for the round. XSET get on the board, and I understand, Jesse, that when you are in a man disadvantage, oftentimes you need to swing because if you're just sitting on the bomb site, the 3 of you, and there's 5 closing in on you, you're going to get picked off in those trades. You got to get brazen. You have to try to even the numbers out. I understand that. I meant more as what is happening is why is DZ getting thwarted on their roams so quickly? Because usually, at least on this matchup, DZ have been quite strong on it. Good round from XSET. More normal for XSET. I think the first 3 rounds were a little uncharacteristic of XSET entering alone, not getting droned inappropriately, not using utility to flush out these defenders. And on a map like Clubhouse, that yes, it allows you to roam depending on where the bomb site is, you can clear out Clubhouse pretty fast with 3 to 4 drones and 1 or 2 people entering alongside that, depending on how many you're using. So, bit of negligence from XSET. Maybe they just needed to settle down, and whoever is behind them, coaching them, should be able to do that. Either way, they pick up the very first round, and they've done all of that without Spirits getting a single kill yet. The only donut/goose egg on the board.
It will be Vivas behind XSET, calling those sack timeouts, trying to calm the boys down. Bodega not there. So Vivas has stepped into that role and has done very well for XSET so far. The players speak very highly of him, both as a strategic coach and somebody that can kind of calm them down when needed to. Not his initial position, but he's filled it well so far. We see XSET attacking here now onto the cash bomb site. DZ switched up. Pamba still playing down below. That's where he was last time on the Thorn. Very aggressive, though. They haven't droned this. This is big. He's not going to get a kill. He'll back off. No harm, no foul. Pambazoo back into lounge.
This really isn't that different in regards to the way that the teams are holding, though. And Pamba had been in this spot before. If you remember, XSET actually didn't have that much difficulty sweeping through the garage. They had Pamba, and then I believe it was Hyper who was playing up top on the rafters as well. It really came in the mid-round where DZ was able to help, and then, of course, the final 2v2 that broke in DZ's favor because of bad coverage after the diffuser got planted. So XSET will need to be a bit more proficient as we hit the halfway point of the round. We're not there just yet. We're closing in on it. The start for the round, though, previously went well for XSET. They're having some difficulties opening up this wall.
Yeah, they've got the hardness of the off the wall on the left-hand side. They'll open it with the Flores drone now. And that's a nice little hole they can walk on through, so that's going to be good. 3 players over the platform side, Spirits outside of Garage on the left, and then a 5th player, not sure, probably on the roof at the moment, droning or something. We'll see where they end up playing at the actual execute. A couple of those players rotating over to Garage. Definitely Hyper is going to be the next target, but Pambazoo is really able to have a lot of impact, helping out Hyper, get a couple of kills from down inside of Lounge. I'm interested to see, once again, if he tries to play kind of aggro, if he tries to go for some picks. The fact that he's all the way at the top of Red Stairs means probably not, but Canadian looking to sneak in and have that impact anyways.
Canadian's been a high-impact player, as you talk about, and getting impactful frags has been the name of the game. Can he do anything to try and assist Hyper in this position, who's still playing up top? Nades might be there with his name on it. Just a small jiggle peek, lighting up Diaz, but cannot connect. XSET walk into Garage, and with a minute to go in the round, secure the very first pick. So now DZ will swing back and fire back, as an Adrenal Surge is enough to keep Diaz alive. The rest of the team of XSET all topped up.
40 seconds, they're outside. Hyper kind of had to swing that because they don't have a Jaeger. They do have a Wamai, but didn't have a lot of grenade protection, so Hyper knows he's got to get aggressive when players are swinging at him with the rafters. Loses the fight, though, and Diaz has retaken this position. With this pinch coming in from both Garage and the platform wall, this is going to be a very nice push from XSET. As soon as they get this zombie barrier off, they should have a nice little angle into the bomb site.
NJR is a very strong position, taking down Spirits. Still no kills. They'll elude the Frenchman on the team, or the French-Canadian, I should specify. Some of that wall's been opened up onto rafters, but it's a long-range gunfight that XSET wins off of. Canadian tries to retake. The players from XSET not particularly close, so NJR will be the last line of defense, tossing out a Nitro Cell quite literally, and he stops the plan and wins the round for DarkZero with a double. Beautifully played by DZ, even if they're way down in numbers. They take their 4th round.
NJR, the Banana King himself, coming in huge at the end of that round. It was looking very rough. Again, the rafters play didn't work out for Hypers. There was a little bit of pressure from the master side that NJR was able to do, but the site players all collapsed, and then the C4, as you called it, really, really nicely done to go through. Sometimes it's just that timer that does tick down. XSET had everything done correctly. They went through the checklist. They got control of Garage. They got the wall open with Maverick. I think the fact that it took them a little bit longer to get that wall open with the Mav and then with the Flores probably did contribute to the fact that it took them so long to get into that plant position. The clear of rafters was pretty speedy, so it almost made up for that fact. But then when it comes to your execute, the 1C4 denies the plant. You win it on time. It's just one of those rounds where small things slip past you, and XSET end themselves with this 4-1 round differential. They could get it a little bit better. They could make it a 4-2 split, but they are not going to be neutral or winning when they come out of this attacking half.
No, not the start that XSET wants, and they put themselves in a position where 5-1 halves are so rare that XSET will almost certainly need a 4-2 half of their own on the second side of things to push us to overtime, because they cannot win on that half. So that's particularly damning, and XSET doesn't have the start that they wanted. Yeah, they used their timeout, and they were able to get a single round off of that, and it was a good round on that church take, almost flawless. There was a single kill for DarkZero. Outside of that, I think the numbers really do speak for themselves. DarkZero, as a team, have been quite strategic on their roams and have been good in the final moments of a round. That's the 2nd time that DarkZero has won that CCTV cache site on a last-second clutch. Obviously, strategy sometimes means a little bit more than just brute forcing your way on in, and DZ shows why.
Hyper on Rafters has been favoring this position in a lot of rounds so far. He's not done amazingly. You can see he's 2 and 4 right now. He has delayed a lot of time, but still, I mean, this is still a player that you want to be seeing getting all those kills. He has historically been the top fragger for DarkZero. Pamba kind of took that title away at the Major, and I do like how they're able to work together on the roam. But still, this nade could end things, and it does. It's not the nade, but it's the nade pressure that forces him out and into the crosshair of Gomez.
Earlier on in the game, you'd seen Hyper swing a couple times on those nade plays with no real backup from XSET. They correct that error this time, and because of that, they find their 4th first blood in a row. I know that might be a little confusing, but being able to start things off and give your team an advantage is huge. XSET have benefited from that through 4 rounds, but they've only been able to convert it once so far. Will a second follow? DZ still have some players off site. They need to be found out by XSET. First half in the books, and Spirits will not find a single kill through the first half. That's not ideal. Drone scoots by NJR. I don't think he's been spotted, but he shoots it and then rotates either way as Canadian gets picked off. XSET closing in on this bomb site. DZ realizes that they need to start to form up and fortify their defense on site.
I like the way that Gomez has played around his teammates. The second kill that he just got there was a trade onto Canadian. The first one was being forced off by the grenade. Beautifully done by him. So far, DarkZero not looking ideal throughout this round. It's going to be a push coming in from Dirt and almost a kill for Kino as a wild swing comes forward from Pambazu. Doesn't quite get the frag that he was looking for, though. Eclipse down here. Most of this push is coming through blue right now.
And Eclipse watches one that goes by, gets a easy bullet pen onto Gomez, traded back by Diaz. XSET keeping close with their numbers, and there's another for Diaz as well. Who said harsh support can't carry the way? Last man standing for DZ is NJR. He gets a gun down, pulls out the shotgun. That's Diffuser surrendered too. He'll get pushed from 2 separate angles, but he takes the shotgun to it. Suddenly Yaga is down. Kino will need to clutch out. He's against the weapon that he's made a name for himself on, and he manages to outduel him. XSET, it's close. It was a 1v1, but XSET prevails in the first half, still goes in favor of DZ, but XSET pick up a big round before we go to the second half.
NJR back breaking. He can only carry so many rounds. He clutched last time, couldn't do it this time, but was in such a good position when he flanks down blue, gets the kit down in the ground. No idea on the side of XSET where that flank was coming from. He found 2 kills and had a very good chance of getting that third. Just lost the gunfight. It's unfortunate for him there, but man, oh man, he gave it a great shot. Ultimately, it's not a bad half for DarkZero. I mean, they can't be upset about this. NJR 8 and 4, dominating the server statistically, but XSET have started to find their footing. Even that one round, if that hadn't gone to a clutch of NJR, if that C4 hadn't flown through and allowed him to win the 1v4, this would be an even 3-3 split. So we're once again seeing a very close game. We're once again seeing a game barreling towards 13+ rounds, and that is horrible for both of these teams who desperately need to avoid overtime if they want to make it to the Major. XSET less so, but even for them, regulation win is worth so much more than an overtime one.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, XSET are in good position no matter what the result of today's matchup is. They built up a nice cushion for themselves, but they are far from secured. And again, you've got a couple teams that are nipping at their heels. Parabellum suddenly went from being one of the basement teams at the start of the stage to having an outside shot that could become an inside shot, depending on what DZ does to XSET over the course of this match. So, again, just something that we will keep tabs on and continue to go back to. First half, by the way, tail of the tapes. DZ got 2 first bloods, XSET 4. XSET burned their timeout after round number 3. They went 2 and 1 after that. So they managed to pick up 2 rounds. It stopped some of the momentum that DarkZero had, but DZ built up that good nest egg by taking rounds 1, 2, and 3. 3 bomb sites played, no bar and stage showed up. So we're still looking to see if all 4 will be played here on Clubhouse.
Odd for DarkZero, with the second best entry record as a team in the league right now. They're 38 and 32, plus 6 on entry heading into this matchup.
Are they the best statistical attacking team as well?
They were at the Major. They really fell off at the start of the stage, but they're getting better as we go.
They were either the best attacking team or one of the best defending teams yesterday.
They were the best defending, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you for having my back.
You're welcome. That's why they brought the stats guy into the cast, right?
Sure. We'll go with that.
Thanks, man.
Only small difference that we see here that might be worth noting out of the ordinary is the Thunderbird, an operator, the Canadian operator, who doesn't have the highest pick rate, but does have some use on certain bomb sites, especially if you want to play on a roam. A lot of teams like to put down 2 of those Kona healing stations in the bomb site and then keep one in their pocket so that they can either juggle it or play somewhere off-site and hold that map presence and potentially survive a nade, etc.
They want to get this kitchen hatch open, and with Selma charges, despite the impacts, I think they will. There's the first one, not quite opened yet, and there's the second Selma charge. That'll do it. They're using those Kiva barriers to try to block off some sight lines. I do like that a lot from XSET. Just make sure that these angles go a little bit more in their favor, and make it so that they can play a little bit more safe towards the back of Armory, where Diaz is right now.
Gomez at the bottom of main stairs, watching that door, barricaded up. Flashes coming in, his Spirits just evades them. Still blinded either way. 45 seconds for DZ to get into the bomb site. XSET just needs to sit and wait, as right now it comes onto the shoulders of the attackers. Gone 6 goes out, cannot capitalize off of a down Diaz, so instead go for the nade. But Pamdazu just right now having a calamity of errors. No. It will open the barrier though and allow them to waltz on in, but Diaz could potentially be recovered. If he can get back over to the Kona station, he'll get rezzed right back up. Instead, it's now Gomez to go down. Diaz follows. NJR and the rest of DZ dominate the kill feed, leaving Yaga in a clutch or kick scenario, and he's kicked by Hyper. The final 2 kills go to DarkZero, and they stretch their lead as they now march towards victory. They're 2 rounds away from putting XSET into the dustbin.
I don't think there was an angle DarkZero weren't pushing there. They had a guy coming down main stairs. They had, I believe, 2 players on the kitchen hatch. They had a 4th player coming down in through dirt, and then they had a 5th player pushing oil pit in through blue. The only doorway they weren't walking through into that bomb site was Moto, and that was just fine because it was a Armory side take coming forward from DarkZero. So really nicely done from them. Very well coordinated as everybody was pushing to the bomb site at the exact same time. Those Kiba barriers seemed so strong. They blocked off so many of those angles, but once they started to get opened up, the angles still were favoring DarkZero. They were able to pinch in and get a lot of those kills. Nice call for them to be able to spread out so much because there was a lot of early focus on that kitchen hatch. They did get it open though, and it worked out very nicely. I think you're starting to see like the effect of the smoke ban as well. Once we've moved DarkZero over to the attack, of course, XSET probably not fully prepped for a smoke ban. It's not super common. I'm sure it's something they've considered and something that they've planned around, but it is always difficult to adapt like that, especially for a player like Kino, who can kind of be static on his defensive operators at times. Not that he can't flex to other ops, but he's just played smoke for so long. He's played smoke for so long that he's now decided that the best play for him is to instead go Mira with the double Mira window on the platform wall. Parker, what do you think about this?
Well, this is one we haven't seen in...
It's been a minute.
Quite some time. This reminds me of consulate defenses downstairs where teams would put both black mirrors on the consulate garage wall, but it's been quite a while, so yeah. It's been a minute is absolutely correct. Despite this, and despite that setup being the main focal point for DarkZero, you'll want to do what you do on every single CCTV cache take, which is clear out the areas of the map that are far removed from that, and that includes gym and bedroom. Exothermic charge has already gone off. I think that's on the panel leading into construction. That is correct. Wow, that is actually a clean break. I don't think I usually see it where it's so clean.
Yeah, the entire wall is open. And
not dirty.
It's not.
That is not a dirty wall.
I will say, Intero, it's no mistake that XSET brought 6 impacts with these mirror windows. You saw the effect of the first one there. It's going to be very tough to open up this entire wall just because with those mirror windows, there are angles to throw impact grenades through. Diaz through the first one, and it did manage to get the first hard breach off the wall. Spirits with the second. It's so difficult, actually, at this point for DarkZero to open this up. They could technically Mav it. Mav can't be impacted, but Mav can just be killed with those angles open on the wall as well. So this is very difficult for DarkZero. I'm interested to see how they adapt.
It's a poor nade tossed out by NJR. As a small error can cost a lot later on down the line. Those nades are usually so hard to come by. There was also a late mute jammer put down on that wall in CCTV that thwarted one of the Selmas from going off. Whether it was taken out by a follow-up impact nade, I'm not sure. But I mean, it doesn't really matter because unless you clear out the mute jammer, the Selma's not going to be effective. Anyway.
So they got the wall open, I do believe here. We'll see if Diaz tries to peek it a little bit. No, I believe they got a walkable hole in through this wall. But they wasted so much hard breach. That said, Pamba with the nade takes down Spirits up inside of Raptors. Canadian down to the bottom floor, helping out with that a little bit thanks to a nice nade. They've got control here. They got the wall open, and this is actually everything that they need to start going in for their execute.
Spirits the first to die for XSET, and the first one in this round. Still searching for his very first kill. We'll have to find it in round number 9. All the rest of XSET set farther back. 30 seconds to go for DarkZero, holding onto that diffuser in the hands of Eclipse. DZ still spread out. Down below, there's a nade ready from Canadian. It doesn't work. NJR's gun finds Gomez. DS fires back from the top of red, but his position known. Kino one of his own as well. DZ will lose their 2 players downstairs, but Eclipse just walks right into the bomb site. NJR not too far off. Down goes Yaga, and the diffuser will need to be planted. Can Eclipse pull it off? Kino will head back to the top of red stairs, but he's gunned down by Panda, and that's all she wrote for that round. Match point, DarkZero.
It's the same style of take where they're going in through every single doorway into the bomb site. They had a player coming in forward from construction. They had a player coming in from the CC window. They had a player coming in from garage. They had platform wall open. They were really all over that site. And again, they're all pushing together. The coordination is perfect. You can tell somebody is counting down those pushes. 3, 2, 1, go. And DarkZero were all in at once. I was a little worried that Eclipse had taken the defuse kit and was all alone moving over towards the CC window construction side of things. If he'd gotten swung on and dropped that defuse kit outside, could have been a disaster, but they didn't know where he was, so they couldn't have swung it, and ultimately it was DarkZero that were in control of that. XSET just sat still in their bomb site. They weren't going for anything aggressive. After they lost that opening death, they just sat and waited for DarkZero to enter into their site, and because they came from so many different points, it was so hard for XSET to look at all directions at once, and they ended up falling in that execute. I think the entire desk and casting panel picked XSET in this game.
I think so, yeah.
They're kind of foolish there.
Oh no, it's going to be one of those Rainbow Six images that precede unfortunate events. Again, it's going to be the same as, what was it, TSM last week? I think it was TSM versus XSET, actually. And everybody said TSM, and then XSET ended up winning.
I think so, yeah.
Is that correct? I think it was.
There was definitely a Beast Coast game where that happened, where nobody picked Beast Coast.
Playday number 5 was TSM versus XSET, and XSET won it. So I'm going to imagine that that was the one. I remember everybody picked TSM. And I'm trying to remember who their opponent was. I thought it was XSET, but again, I'm getting old.
It happens.
I'm getting old.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway.
42 as of last weekend.
The age always changes. You just continue to joke about my age. But thank you. I appreciate you for at least remembering that one of those 2 digits is correct, and it's not the 4. Either way.
52, my bad.
Could this be the final defense for XSET? Will Spirits find a kill? He's at games like this before, by the way.
Yeah. Spirits has been so good in some of those, in some of the rounds that he's played, some of the games he's played for XSET, and so bad in some of the other ones. He's an extremely hot and cold player.
No, hot and cold plays for Space Station.
Yeah, okay. Waiting for that one.
Tommy's been doing that
Tommy's done it a lot.
day. Tommy's been doing that all day. It's always reminiscent of when I used to do it way back in the day, but it's been quite some time. Anywho, despite the fact that every single bomb site is open, XSET have not wanted to repeat mistakes of the past, so instead they will go over to weight room. Look at that, Kino just swung, by the way, but they're going to go hunting. Diaz gets the first kill, XSET finds 2. Spirits breaks the goose egg before Hyper puts him in the grave. Yaga answers back, down goes Pambazoo, and suddenly it's Hyper in a 1v3. It looks like XSET are going to stay alive for one more round as Hyper has a single point of HP. You could blow him a kiss. That's what it would sound like.
Aww.
That's you blowing the kiss. And guess what? Hyper would die. Nade in hand. What do you do at this point? Spotted on the cam. They know you're down below. There's 3 players. You can just swing off of them. As good as Hyper is, on 1 HP, no way in the world that you're able to come back from this. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, they know where he's at, down at the bottom of the stairs. You can play around it, but of course out of nades now, blindly firing through the floorboards. You can see Eclipse is on a drone. It's not that they have 0 intel, but most of the players on DarkZero are just watching Hyper in this moment because there's not a lot that they can call that's going to help him out. He walks up the stairs, zombie barriers blocking his way into sight, even if he had the kit, which he doesn't. There he goes.
It was over.
Yeah.
That round was over about 30 to 40 seconds ago. DZ decided to go for broke, break into the bomb site, start with the bathroom, move into weight room, move into bedroom. What they didn't account for was the ability for XSET to fire back inside of weight room, inside of bedroom, and as well over in logistics. So just in the previous rounds, the strength of DarkZero attacking from all these different angles seemingly disappears in that round, and DZ do not have the map control, I guess you could say, to punish the remaining players from XSET.
When DarkZero lost the title of best defending team in the NAL Stage 2, it went to XSET, who have a 62% defensive win rate heading into this game. It's the best in the North American League, and when they started off losing every single defense for the first 2 rounds, I was worried that we weren't going to see it. I think the big reason why XSET have done so well in their defenses has been their site play. I think Kino's been an amazing anchor for XSET. I think both Gomez and Diaz have done a good job of kind of moving around in the site. Typically, Spirits and Yaga can be a little bit more aggressive on their own, but again, when they come back, I think their site play has also been good. Really, for XSET, I haven't seen that at all so far today, and I think that is because of the multi-dimensional push DarkZero have been going for time and time again. That time it got very chaotic, got a little sloppy, and DarkZero weren't able to chain kills together, and ultimately XSET did win those site engagements. So I'm hoping we see more of that. I'm hoping we see XSET inside of the bomb site, playing a little bit better, able to go for some swings that catch some players off guard. It's tough though, and DarkZero pushing from so many different angles. Playing as a site player, playing as an anchor-focused team can be very, very difficult.
Correct. Very
Thanks.
correct. Still holding out hope for a bar stage here. Can't find it. Pambazoo first to go down. Gomez. The Thunderbird has been a staple of these XSET defenses, not just in terms of gadgetry, but also Gomez has been lighting it up on this team, and now will recover some of that remaining HP or missing HP with the Kona station. Gomez is actually back over where he was before. Spirits, who had broken the goose egg that he had previously with 1 kill to his name, now finds himself in a tricky spot, losing some of the protection over towards the CCTV wall, and also the Logi hatch gets blown open. So, where do Spirits go? Towards the top of main stairs over by the bedroom. And I don't know if he's going to persist for too long, as the rest of XSET seem quite safe, bunkered down in the bomb site.
It actually seems as though XSET have recognized the way DarkZero push, and they've recognized that they're not going to be able to beat these multi-dimensional swings that are coming in from DZ, so they say, screw it, let's win on the roam. And I like that change up a lot. Spirits has been a player that has been struggling to get engaged with this matchup, but now with 1 kill, starting to turn things around perhaps. He is still up above, got a good angle down into kitchen, but very much vulnerable as well if DarkZero are interested in clearing him. It looks like they're more focused on the site right now. Spirits is all over the map, currently in gym, could drop down to billiards if he pleases, but not currently the idea that he wants to go for. DarkZero aware he's up here. They're not going to forget about him, but it's just a matter of can he find an opening, and just quite can't find it on the Hyper, and now he's droned out. This is going to get a whole lot harder.
Spirits is just not having a very confidence-inspired day, and NJR drops through the Logi hatch, and there goes the remainder of the XSET roamer. Spirits gone before Hyper had taken a lot of damage in that gunfight. Still, DZ have opened up the top floor. They'll find very quickly that the rest of XSET is all comfy down on the bomb site below. So continue to drone that out and take the necessary steps before you can push in and get the diffuser down.
And I think a 4v4 is better than a 5v5 because, again, that's fewer angles DarkZero can use to push down. They've got players around blue, they've got players around kitchens, likely to be a 2-pronged push here. We'll see how it goes.
1 Nitro still remaining, by the way. That's Kino. Gomez has now taken on opportunity to get up to Moto, watching the bottom of main stairs. If DZ don't see this, that's an easy first pick for XSET when the execute comes in. Yaga takes out Canadian. That was one of the players from DZ up top. Next one lined up inside of blue. It's Gomez amidst the smoke to try to pressure Hyper. That's where the focus is. But XSET have their eyes turned towards all the different players at DZ. And the beautiful thing is that when you push from all these different angles, it's easy for the defenders to engage you in 1v1 from all these different angles. That's exactly what XSET does. They've picked up their 4th round. DZ still sit on match point, but slowly that lead is disappearing.
There was some really late rotation from DarkZero that did kind of speak to the fact that maybe they were scrambling in those last 20 seconds. We saw Eclipse move from the blue hatch over towards kitchen to try to drop in there and have some impact with the defuse kit. We saw NJR moving from kitchen down the main stairs, trying to pinch and supply some pressure from that side of the bomb site. Ultimately, none of it was enough. Both those players got cleaned up, and the blue pressure that still existed also ended up being ineffective. So DarkZero, again, maybe panicking a little bit without that full 5-man roster, not able to go for as clean of a 5-man push that they went for the last time they were on this bomb site. And because of that round, they're going to call attack timeout. They've only lost, 2 in a row, but they still feel like this is the time to call it.
Well, I mean, it was a very late timeout called up from DarkZero, at least from what we heard, and I was speculating if it would pop out now too. You don't want to be the team that calls it when it is a 5-6 game or a 6-5 game against your opponents, because you've at that point given up 3 rounds in a row and they have momentum heading into overtime. Obviously, the momentum that exists in a game like Siege is not in the server. There's no economy system. There's no finances you need to manage. You don't need to worry about guns disappearing or anything like that. The only real momentum, quote unquote, is the bomb site rotation if you're on either attack or defense. Because you could end up getting an unfavorable rotation and then your opponents end up playing on a bomb site that you're not going to win, period. And that is, that's momentum that goes against you. Either way.
I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, right? We've had the 2 bomb sites in a row that XSET have done pretty well on, Gym Bedroom and then Church Arsenal. Now they've got to go to a 3rd site. If XSET want to stay alive because they had such a rough first half and they had such a rough start to the second half, they've got to be flexible and be winning on every single bomb site in this map, except for the terrible bar stage, so thankfully that won't be played out. But otherwise, they're going to have to win on all 3 of the primary sites on Clubhouse. They've done it twice so far. This is the one they have yet to find any success on.
Might have used the word motivation in place of momentum a couple times, but low blood sugar, it happens.
Yeah,
Either way, timeout taken by DarkZero. One thing that we do tend to see from all teams across every single level of Tier 1 play and every region of Tier 1 play is that a timeout is usually good enough to get you 1 or 2 rounds relatively quickly. That's all DZ needs. And again, there is no momentum here. DZ have already triumphed on this bomb site. It's a CCTV cash defense by XSET. And DarkZero, using their 6th pick, have brought out an operator that another member of DarkZero, though as a content creator, has talked about at length, which is Kali. Kali being brought in place of Thatcher, in place of potentially Flores or a Twitch, can do some serious damage. And I mean, it's not on the steadiest of hands for DarkZero, I will say that much. But Canadian can make some serious damage done with a shot or 2 from that sniper rifle.
Yeah, and it's brought out to counter this double Mira setup that we saw XSET running last time, right? They ran at the exact same time today, and this time they used the first little Kali Lance to deal with any of those mute jammers that might be on the wall, and then they just had the angle to open up that they could really wash in deep into the bomb site. Turn that angle from an impact hole to a Kali hole, right? And then all of a sudden, it's very dangerous to play inside of that room. It's very dangerous to play those impacts. Now look how open the wall is. DarkZero can walk in anytime they please, and that's all because of the Kali.
Spirits is the first one to take some damage, playing on the top of rafters, 1 and 9. This is a terrible game for somebody who usually is much better in the clutch. They'll need a bigger performance out of them because the top frag from XSET is the first one to die. Gomez is down. Spirits left on catwalk all alone. All he has are those Kiba barriers there. But he gets a nice pick on the Hyper. That's a great long-range shot. Another could be hit as well, with he and Diaz sitting up on rafters. I'd forgotten about Diaz in that position, so maybe not completely on his own. A nade from below, but there's nobody there to receive it, so NJR tosses it out, and the damage that could have been done will have to go elsewhere. Kino picks off Canadian. There's the Kali gone from the equation. Spirits looks for one, but Diaz refrags, gets the kill. Panbazoo is there. Another for Diaz. Goodness gracious, all of a sudden XSET have rebuffed DZ, and the clutch master on DZ, Eclipse, will have to find the remaining 2 kills. He does it, but he can't get Kino. 1 kill to start off with, and the 1v1 breaks in XSET's favor. They continue to stay alive, and we are a single round away from overtime.
Spirits didn't get a ton of kills in that round. He got 1, but he did have a ton of impact. He really allowed Diaz to get 2 of those big kills playing from bottom garage. It was the attempt of DarkZero to get into garage late in that round, clear out rafters, clear out lounge, and then push at a 2-pronged angle into the CCTV bomb site. But instead, Diaz really ruined their day, playing bottom garage around that lounge area, took care of 1 player that was swinging to take care of the rafters guy, and then when the second player was coming in through the garage door, he managed to take that guy out too. Very nicely done from Diaz to work around his teammate of Spirits, who again, 2 and 10's not great, but these last couple of rounds, he's been starting to heat up, and he's been having impact even when he's not getting those kills. If this is the moment where Spirit starts to heat up and XSET start to win rounds, and they can push this to OT and perhaps get 2 points today, this is, well, couldn't have come any later. So nice to see it now.
This is a much tighter matchup than we anticipated. I mean, hey, it's just following the trend line of what we saw out of match number 1, Jesse.
Yeah.
For those of you that didn't watch it, I apologize for the spoilers. You can cover your ears for the next couple seconds if you don't want to hear them. Beast Coast versus Astralis was match 1, and Astralis 8-6. But Beast Coast was actually in control for quite a while. And it's almost a mirror matchup in terms of the way these rounds are playing out. The first half for Beast Coast and Astralis was 3-3, which is different obviously from the 4-2 that we see here. But Beast Coast went on a match point in round number 9. DZ did the same in round number 8, but then it was squandered. And Astralis provided a very fun comeback and ended up winning 5 rounds in a row to put them away. XSET have won 3 in a row. A 4th in a row means that not only do we go to overtime, but it denies DZ those 3 full points that they need, and it also means that XSET give themselves much better odds of securing needed points for them to go to the major.
Yeah, I'll remind you of the stakes. DarkZero, if they lose this round, their realistic chances of the major slip away. It's a 6% chance or less if they lose this round right here. And if they win it, it's still only about a 1 in 4. But this is what they need to keep their stakes alive. XSETs, overtime would be fine for them. Over 50% no matter how OT goes. So they definitely need to win this round. It is extremely crucial. We are on Gym Bedroom, the site that XSET have not lost so far.
You know what they call stakes when they're alive?
What do they call them?
Cows.
That's true.
Halfway through the round, and NJR sees some bodies from below. The Banana Man himself, you said, and he's got the appropriate charm on the gun just to match it. Why not? Nobody's died yet. Gomez taking a lot of damage. That's about it. Adrenal surges from DZ, as you will come to hear, because Finka is played almost every single round, will allow DZ to heal themselves back up. We touched on Thunderbird being a key part of XSET's defense. Well, it's not Gomez playing this operator this time around, it's Yaga instead. Either way, there's still healing to be had. Adrenal Surge comes in, not too late for NJR to pick up the kill onto Gomez. DZ with the first blood. They've been mighty good at it. They will continue to rack it up as Pamba's in the midst of the bomb site, finally shut down by Spirits. He's got the shoddy out. What damage can he do to Hyper? Quite a lot. Keeping the numbers close. Canadian bleeding out as well. No Finka to get you back up, so it's a 2v2. XSET, the improbable comeback. It was DZ to answer. It was DZ to start. And now DZ are in a position, a very precarious position, where they'll need to find these last 2 players from XSET. Can Canadian be retrieved? That's the question. Diffuser goes down. Canadian will play for Intel. I don't think anybody from DarkZero is too punched to try and pick him up. Spirits gets the kill. XSET will retake. Diffuser is down inside a weight room. 30 seconds left on the clock. Both members from XSET over by the bathroom, and there's NJR for the lineup to pick up both of them. Well, he peels away at the defense, and despite the 3 rounds in a row, looking like overtime was on the menu, XSET falls short. DZ make things work in round 12. And that's tough for XSET's Berlin Major chances.
It was a nice entry from the Charlotte Major MVP, Pambazoo walking in through the bathroom to get 2 big kills in onto the site, and the trades looked good. Spirits and Yogg started to claw that round back, but at the end, it was NJR who capitalized on those 2 players playing so passively that was able to clean them up when they were going for that retake. I don't know if they wanted that kit to go down or they wanted to play the retake, or maybe they were just assuming that DarkZero would be playing that a little bit more passive. They would keep their guns up. Either way, they didn't play it the way they should have, and then ended up losing it there. So that's it. DarkZero staying alive. XSET, this is a pretty devastating loss for them. Again, 2nd most likely team at the beginning of the week to go to Charlotte, or sorry, to go to Berlin, and then a 7-5, 7-5 loss game or week.
I mean, how can I blame you? To be honest, Berlin is the Charlotte of Europe.
Many people say that.
Many people. You know, I've actually heard people say it's crazy that we are going to the Charlotte of Europe, and I feel like every Berliner who's going to hear that is going to absolutely hate that we said that and compared it to Charlotte.
2 great cities.
2 great cities. DZ's chances of making it are still very much there. They're small, though. XSET, not as certain as we thought. It was a pleasure having you on the cast. The last time we cast together would have been Canada Nationals
2019.
in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, back in 2019. And then before that, it was a month before that, I think, in Montreal
DreamHack.
in 2019 too. So we'd only ever casted on Canadian soil. Fun fact for everybody. Thanks for joining me.
It was a pleasure.
You did great. You're like an upgraded Lynx.
I appreciate that. You know, it's the all-Canadian cast worked out. A lot of people say we have accents and that we sound funny.
You sound Canadian. I don't think I do.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's pretty much just like American English, but either way, I thought it was a fun cast. Fun couple days of cast.
Horrendous. But no, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Nick should be back next week. But it's been, honestly, it's been a blast this stage to be able to cast with Nick, to be able to cast with Lynx, and now to be able to cast with you. It's been fun. Find a new groove. And I think you did a great job if you ever want to step off the desk. I think you do a pretty good job as a caster, too. But I would never say that. Never say that out loud. That's it for both of us.
You were nice in the end.
I had to be.
Terra Mom can be proud.
As my mom told me that I had to. I, a 32-year-old man, being told what to do on a broadcast by his mother. That's it for myself. That's it for Jesse. Blue and Stokes will take you the rest of the way, and there's still more to go. 3 more matches. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Thought I'd never make it like no way. I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cold case. Those on the deals, that's brose. Got no pay, on no say. Okay, this the news, tell them read it. Been the one since a fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no, no, no. Spending dope for no reason. Got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner. Heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go, go, go. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go off like. That money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I press the button and the doors go off like. Whoa, that money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. They been on it, drum on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Facade get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show and she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail.
Welcome back to the Rainbow Six North American League. Doe here along with Jacob and Tommy. We've got an interview lined up for you. That's right, over in Vegas we have NJR standing by from Team DarkZero, getting the win today over XSET. It was a little bit close. It got a little bit close at the end there, but you got it done. And now I'm really curious because DarkZero, since winning the major, obviously, it's been a roller coaster. You've had high highs, you've had kind of low lows this stage. So I'm curious, like, what has the team sort of like learned going through this stage 2 that was maybe a little bit more difficult than you anticipated originally?
I think it sucks to say, but I think we got a little bit comfortable, and like, I think that's the biggest thing we've learned. I think we just some of us got a bit comfortable, weren't putting as much effort in, and that's probably the biggest lesson we've learned.
Okay.
How's it going, NJ? Long time no see. Hopefully all's been
What's
well.
up, man?
How's it been? Quick question. Last stage, you guys have lost to XSET 7-5. What did you guys do in order to prepare you guys selves for this map, especially it's basically a redo? And then also, how you been?
I've been good. Thanks for asking.
Good.
We didn't prepare for them specifically too hard. It's just our mindset. The past couple like map ban phases have just been going to maps we're comfortable with, and that's been about it.
Okay.
So you're looking at, for your very last Playday, you're looking at Mirage, and you're on the cusp of actually being able to go back to Berlin. A big thing that I know you guys are obviously looking for is saying, hey, we won one major, but we're looking to see if we can't have a strong showing at things after that. if for some reason this Mirage game doesn't work out or you're not able to go to Berlin, what is kind of the next step for you from that point?
I think just getting more reps and like developing our map pool more would probably be our biggest focus. I think a break would also do us well, or a more drawn out break. Obviously, like we don't want that. We want to go to Berlin.
Right.
But if things don't work out, then not the end of the world.
So building on that, then, like, what do you think it takes to keep your focus going into a game like that? Obviously, Mirage seeming like a softer opponent this stage, but you can't really underestimate anybody in the NAL. I mean, Beast Coast learned that last week. Obviously, you guys don't want to be the next team to end up in that situation. So going into that match, that's going to be so crucial now because it could mean going to the major or not. What's the approach going to be? You know, how do you keep that focus?
I mean, we all know how to conduct ourselves and handle our own mental however we feel fit. Like, I don't think we're too worried. Just going to stay focused and keep doing what we've known to have worked before.
All right, yeah, it makes sense. I've compared DarkZero to like a Super Saiyan in the past, where like you take a little bit of time to power up, but once you do as a squad, then it's hard for anyone to take you on. So obviously mental fortitude is a big part of that. There you go. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting with us, and good luck next week.
Of course, thank you. We love keeping things close.
Well, we love it
No
too. It's
kazap.
exciting, so we appreciate it.
That is no kazap.
Stop
There
saying that, bro.
All right, well, NJR, a man of few words, but a player that contributed a lot today with DarkZero's win over XSET, and a crucial win as well. Now, XSET not out of the running yet. They still have a lot of points, but this does make things a little bit scary for them looking at the major, doesn't it?
It does. So technically, because of the way things stand right now, XSET only have a 33% chance of qualifying for Berlin, which, considering where they were, was like in the 90s if they got a regulation win. But no points today, and DarkZero getting 3 points means that they are now far closer than XSET themselves would like. So nothing is a guarantee.
Right.
No one's actually managed to get to the major yet. DarkZero's chances are still lower than XSET's, though. They have a a considerably harder statistical mountain to climb. Again, they do have Mirage to play next week, which a lot of people might see as a given, but it's still not set in stone yet.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate them, right? I mean, like, this thing, Mirage is Mirage, right? But you can't go into that one without taking it seriously. Otherwise, like we talked about in the interview, you don't want to be Beast Coast 2.0, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially for a team like Mirage, like, it's like you said, like, look at Beast Coast. They knocked them out twice. Me the first time I was with them, you get it? Grip, loser.
Oh, boy.
But I will say, I am bummed out because you guys promised me eliminations today. None have been eliminated.
We've only had
still got
2
some time.
games. Come
We got some
on.
time.
You know, like,
There's more time for this.
we need dreams shattered, bro. And I'm not talking about OXG.
Why are we
that was
focused on the negatives? Let's get teams going
It's
to the
my
major.
last
Let's focus
day
on the
here.
positive.
Like, you know, like, I got to become the villain.
If you say
Theoretically,
so.
you could say
All
whatever
right.
you want on this broadcast, and they wouldn't be able to fire you because it's your last day.
There you go. You're like, you can't fire me. I
So
quit.
if you have something to say,
Before you go, though, we have some replays to take a look at. So we'll have to do that at least first. Let's take a look at round number 8. First of all, this was one where there's just some good rafter clearing going on, right? Some good preparation, if you will.
Okay. Well, I mean, as you guys can see, Spirits is literally on an island on rafters. And just get ready. Hyper comes in through, or droning them in. He's just waiting there. Like, the Raptors players is always just set up to die. No matter what, you're supposed to waste time. Just wait until the last, second you're alive, because the moment you lose Raptors is the moment your team is going to lose the, basically, round, because Raptors is literally the whole site. You take Raptors, you are able to plant, and look, flash, nade.
Beautiful.
There you go. That is what pro teams do. They drill until they get that perfect scenario. And knowing a team like DZ, Troy is telling you to do that 10, 20 times.
Yep.
It does not matter. You do that in drills, you do that in scrims.
once you've got rafters clear, everyone else can then splinter off and do their own thing.
Yep.
If you want one guy up rafters, and in this specific case, up rafters, plat wall, looking at red, looking at con, looking at server window, they had somebody in one spot all around the map at the entire time, and they were able to just move in and constrict. But you only do that after you've got the rafters clear. So if you get Clubhouse in your ranked games, clear rafters. And if you're not playing rafters, play there or you're trolling.
There you go.
With utility preferably.
With utility, and then You gotta applaud XSET because in order for them to fix that round, they put 2 people there rafters and won that next round. So yeah.
So put 2 people rafters with utility, with shields, mute jammers, ADS,
make sure,
all my discs.
Yeah, make sure one's hidden.
that.
So like
You writing
when one
this down?
dies,
Yes.
one gets up.
Do all of this in ranked. You
In
will
ranked.
win.
And FPL. In FPL.
And FPL.
I got
Right
you
back
guys.
yourself.
I don't play
got you
FPL, but
guys.
do that.
Yeah,
Guide's
you're not
coming out
invited.
soon.
You're a go-to.
Final round.
Plat 3.
Round 12 is the one we're going to take a look at next. This is the final round of the game. This is one where, you know, the Panda Party took a while to get started.
Yeah,
This
it
time.
did.
But when it did, it happened at just the right time.
It's true because, well, mostly it's just him walking right into bathroom and finding 2 kills. It's Diaz and Kino who are both playing this gold vault rotate back into Logi. They've also got a little bit of cover with Spirits, but he's not going to do anything. Because just watch Panda. He'll walk straight in to 2 different rooms, take control, look at the window, make sure there's no one there. Boom, 1, 2, immediately. As soon as he creates that space, Yaga then comes back and, Spirits is the one with the refry because he's actually still back in the same rotate. And once Panda clears those 2 players, he's actually not watching it, but he's already done the damage. Thing about this is NJR actually ends up being the one who pulls off the perfect cross and wins because XSET then have to move in. Yaga's like, he's on his own completely. Spirit still maintains logic control, but they all have to come back. They eventually do coordinate, but then look at where NJR positions himself. Like, Eclipse is planting right now, and all NJ has to do is sit here in showers, and XSET can't clear him.
I mean, that's a big deal. Like, getting the plant down and forcing XSET to come with them, with the remaining players is kind of what ended up giving DZ the edge.
Yeah.
Ended up getting them the win. A much-needed win for DarkZero. That's 3 points for them. The Charlotte Major champions still in the hunt for a trip to Berlin, a chance to defend their crown somehow, some way. I mean, it's the most DarkZero thing in the world, too, to like leave it to the very last day to try to get through. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, right? So we'll see if they can complete that next week. For now, though, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for our 3rd game of the day. It's going to be Oxygen taking on Space Station Gaming. You wanted elimination matches. You might just get something close to one if Oxygen can take it. But Space Station, you know, not quite dead yet. We'll see what they can do when we come back here on NAL.